Hey, it's 7 Grains of Salt. Samoa shut down. Mandatory vaccinations. Did you hear about this? Let's take a look real quick.
Minister of Samoa announced a temporary government shutdown in response to a deadly measles outbreak sweeping through the country. Almost all of Samoa's government and public services will be closed on Thursday and Friday so employees can help with vaccination efforts. More than 3,700 cases of measles have been reported in Samoa, according to government data released Monday. Of the 53 people who have died so far, the majority of them are children under the age of 5. Samoa declared a state of emergency because of the outbreak last month. It's shut down schools, banned minors from public gatherings, and mandated that all citizens get the MMR vaccine. More than 1/4 of Samoa's population has gotten vaccinated since the country's mass vaccination campaign started on November 20th. But government officials say it's been challenging to boost vaccination rates because of misinformation being spread by so-called anti-vaxxers. People are also fearful about the safety of the vaccine after 2 Samoan children died in 2018 when their vaccinations were incorrectly mixed. The World Health Organization says 95% of a country's population needs to be vaccinated against measles in order to prevent outbreaks.
So they've been told to place red flags at... So here, as you see, Samoan families put red flags outside as vaccination team go door to door after measles deaths. A mass vaccination campaign against an epidemic. Makes me think, though, they did mention that there was a tragedy. Yes, there has been. And the families have come against the vaccination companies because their children died. So what is the measles? The MMR. Of course, the medical department will tell you that causes complications such as blindness, severe diarrhea, dehydration, severe respiratory infections such as pneumonia, all kinds of things. But I'm remembering something else. Let's take a look. I'm not a doctor and no expert, but all I'm saying is they keep changing their mind about this. Watch this old episode.
Never mind.
Oh, are you sure it's the measles?
Well, he certainly got all the symptoms. A slight temperature, a lot of dots, and a great big smile.
A great big smile.
No school for a few days.
Say hello to my dotted son for me. Tell him I'll bring him some comic books and I'll see you later, dear.
Okay, honey, bye.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it?
Yeah. If you have to get sick, sure can't beat the measles.
That's right. No medicine.
Inside or out. Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots. Yuck!
It even looks like when you look online, you can find home remedies about how to help measles. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just saying that it's very odd that they're forcing it on everybody. Let's take a look at a few people who've looked into a lot of things like the Truth Stream media and even Truth Unveiled. Let's look.
This right here is from the CDC's own website. It's their own morbidity and mortality weekly report because, you know, they're saying the measles is deadly. It will kill you all. Okay, let's come on down here and check this out for just a second. This chart right here, if I can get my mouse cursor to work. This chart right here is the number of deaths from selected nationally notifiable infectious diseases between the years of 2004 and 2010. Let's go see how many people died of measles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people died of measles in a 6-year period. 5 people die of measles in a 6-year period, and everyone's going to run around looking like this. This is America. This is the face of America right now.
Damage. Could this be the same MMR vaccine that they're using for the people in Williamsburg? Could it be the same exact vaccine that they expect your children to get, that they expect infants to get, that they expect babies to get who are barely 6 months old? And if you don't receive this vaccine, well, then you will be eligible for $1,000 of a fine and even prison. But what is really in vaccines? What are you really injecting into your body and potentially your children's body? Because if you go to the CDC website once again and go to their excipient table, you will see that on page 2, they list of ingredients of the contents that are found in common vaccines. And what you will start to find is that half of these words you cannot even pronounce. And even if you could pronounce them, more than likely a 5-year-old child cannot pronounce any of these words, but yet they expect you and your 5-year-old child to have these ingredients injected into your bodies, not to mention the long-term effects that these ingredients might have. Like, for example, with influenza or even the flu shot, EDTA is placed in that what is attributed to even more diseases. This is a very dangerous thing that is placed into these ingredients. 38 human diploid lung fibroblasts. Well, what is that exactly? Upon a simple Wikipedia search, you will see that this is a diploid human cell strain composed of fibroblasts derived from lung tissue of a 3-month gestation aborted female fetus. Are you putting aborted female fetuses into your body, into your child's bodies? But yet your government expects you to do this, or at least the people of Williamsburg, they expect this to happen. And if you do not do this, well, then you could be committing a crime according to them and could be fined up to $1,000 and thrown in prison.
And this just happened also in New York. Do you remember? They had mandatory, otherwise your kids could not go to school. I don't know what you would do if they came to your door and said that you had to take this vaccination. Would you take it? Would you do research? Would you? Or just accept it? I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. Have to pray. Ask the Holy Spirit. I did a bit of research, and this is what it says. It has related deaths to taking the vaccination. And those are even not all of them, because they're not sure that everyone has reported them. Then there were other researchers in even Europe saying that it could be reverse. A transcriptase is responsible for copying RNA into your DNA, and its activity is associated with the presence of retroviruses, a class of viruses which has the ability to permanently alter the genes of the cells they infect. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just saying something is clearly wrong. And it reminded me of something. It reminded me of back in the Bible, a story. Because they're asking these people in Samoa to put a red flag on their door. Some type of red fabric. And that's what I was reminded of. The Exodus 12 and 13 and 22 and 23. When they were asked to put, because God was about to show judgment in Egypt. I'm sure all of you know this story. I don't have to read all this. Chaos is here, and we need to really be praying and trusting in the Holy Spirit in these times to know what we need to do, because the world is going to come against us heavily. The truth is not for all men, but only for those who actually seek it. Those such as these people, we discussed Jennifer Janes, and so many others who have been supposedly passed away or suicide deaths. But it's impossible. Hers was 2 shots. How can you have 2 shots to the head? All of these are either holistic doctors or regular practicing doctors who have died in the past 3 to 4 years because they're trying to speak the truth. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Big Pharma is probably behind all of this. I don't know. What will you do? What will I do? We need to pray. And I hope that the Holy Spirit will give all of us what we need to overcome in these last days. God bless, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Here in Finland, we have Independence Day coming up, so happy Independence Day to everybody. Stay safe. God bless.